Hello guys, this is Pooja, Dr. Pooja, and as you know by now, I teach you guys science on Unacademy's platform. Let me connect with you guys real quick. Let me see who all are there attending this session, and then we'll get started. Okay, let me see. So how is it going so far? So I know on Unacademy's platform I've started, teaching. Hello, hi. Can you guys see me? I mean, I don't see any movement over here. Let me see. Yes, it started. Okay, let me see. Here you go. All right, guys. So my name is Dr. Pooja, and I am your science educator. I teach you guys science on Unacademy's platform. As you know me, here you go. So, as I said, my name is Dr. Pooja. I teach you guys science on Unacademy's platform. And here is my educational qualification, because many of you always ask me, ma'am, what have you done? Hi, Niranjana Sri, how are you? So, today we'll be covering motion. Okay, so like what are different kinds of motion, understanding motion basically. Okay, so here are my educational qualifications. I've done PhD in biotechnology, and I have 8 years of experience as a scientist and as a lab director in the United States. Okay, so now I am working on Unacademy's platform just to teach you guys science. Okay, I'm a fitness coach as well, and not just I don't only okay, great. Teach you science or physics, chemistry, biology. Apart from that, I tell you how to stay fit and how to stay focused on your studies. All right, because that is what I generally do. And I'm great. Niranjana, I'm great. Have your more friends over here to attend this session, because it's going to be really, really helpful when it comes to understanding the basic concepts. Because what happens, the problem with most of the kids are like they don't understand the basic concepts, and if the basic concepts are not clear, you won't be able to understand the advanced concepts in physics. Okay, so as I said, my name is Dr. Pooja, science educator. Here is my code that you can use for extra 10% discount if you want to subscribe for Unacademy plus courses. So what are these plus courses, and what is this Unacademy all about? Unacademy, we are India's largest learning platform where you can learn from the top selected educators from all over India. Okay, so we are teaching you science, English, mathematics, other languages as well on this platform. So you can come and attend our sessions. We have live practice sessions for you, weekly quiz, and etc. Okay, so apart from that, if we talk about like what are the main features of Unacademy. So first of all, as I said, you don't have to go anywhere, guys, because of this COVID thing. I won't prefer you guys going out and doing your courses and studies outside your boundaries of your house. Oh, okay, Niranjana, that is great. That is just great. So if you want to get educated, or if you want to study from the comfort of your home, so what you just need an internet connection, and you just need a computer, and then you can have access to all the best educators from India to teach you all the subjects. Okay, and let's say you subscribe and you're not able to attend a particular session. You are not losing anything, because all the sessions are stored for you guys only. Okay, so that you can go back anytime and you have unlimited access to all the courses. And we create these courses, we create the notes for you guys, we put in the hard work for you, and you can just go ahead and start reading and getting educated with us. All right, so not only that, I mean, what I personally do is I launch courses, I finish the course, and then I do the extensive revision. Okay, and that covers, because this is physics, and physics, I mean, the most difficult part that you guys find for physics is the formulas, the numericals. So guys, you don't have to worry about all those things, because we do extensive revision of whatever we have studied in a week or in 2 weeks. All right, so this was quickly about how Unacademy works. And it is not like though you are getting the best of the best features, but it is not going to be out of your pocket thing. Why? Because the courses for all the subjects that you're getting, physics, chemistry, biology, then you have English, mathematics, Hindi, or other subjects, everything, for 1 month you are paying only 1000 rupees, guys, only 1000. And not only that, if you use this code PS13, that is my code, okay, if you use that code you will get an extra 10%. And the monthly fee for getting educated from the best educators from your home is going to charge you only 900 rupees. Okay, so not a bad deal, right? So all right, so that was all about like how we do and what we do. Now how you can subscribe, so that is the main question, because you are the ones who have to subscribe for Unacademy, right? So here we get this is our website. You can go there and you can hit the monthly or 3 monthly or 6 monthly or 12 monthly subscription. And from there, not only that, I mean, if you can or if you want, you can use the app as well. All right, so these are the options that I've just mentioned, like how to subscribe, how to get best of the best education from your home in a very, very, very minimal amount. Okay, so not a bad deal, guys. All right, so that is all about Unacademy, that is all about me. But now let's see what I have to offer you in this lecture. Okay, so here you go. So we have to cover, or we will be covering, what is motion, because this is the chapter that I have picked today. That is the topic that I have picked today for you guys. Hello, whosoever has just joined, welcome to my session. Welcome to my this YouTube session on motion. All right, we'll just talk about the basic concepts here, and in my upcoming classes we'll be discussing the advanced topics. Okay, like acceleration and the graphical representation and the formulas and the numericals, all those things only for you guys. Okay, but today we'll just create the base. Okay, like what, I mean, I know you must have heard about these words. What is motion, what is uniform and non-uniform motion, what is velocity, and what is rate of change of velocity, or what we call it, acceleration. Okay, so these are the main topics that we'll be covering today. So let's go ahead and let's crack it. Okay, let's do it, guys. Here you go. So what is motion? First of all, can anybody tell me, like the guys present in watching my session, Nirajna, do you know what is motion? So motion is I mean, whatever is moving, whatever you see moving around you. Okay, kids playing in the park and the cars moving on the roads, right? Hello Niti Tukral, how are you? All right, sun rising and sun getting down, and then moon coming up, and the earth is all these are examples of motion. Okay, and can you define motion? If you cannot, we will try to define motion in our upcoming slides, because then you will have a much better idea. Okay, but before that, let's understand moving of an object with respect to surroundings. Absolutely right. But instead of like saying like with respect to surroundings, we can say with respect to a reference point. Okay, that is what we can say here. All right, so I want your full participation in this lecture. Only then we'll be able to do justice to this session. All right, so guys, we have basically two kinds of motion. All right, motion is change in position of an object with respect to the surroundings. Absolutely, but surroundings is such a wide term, guys. Okay, so we'll just say with respect to a reference point. Okay, so yeah, yes, absolutely, Niti. So that is what we can say. All right, so let's see. Do you know, like, there are different kind of motions which we can see, and there are different kind of motions which we cannot see, but we can only feel, or we can only see the effect of those motion. Okay, those type of motion. So we call them visible motion and we call them invisible motion, guys. Okay, so first of all, let's understand what is visible motion. All right, great. So if you want your friends to attend this session, you can have them in this session so that they can also learn from me. Okay, so very good evening, Sarita. Welcome to the session. Nishant. Oh, Kanika. Welcome, Kanika. So we're talking about motion, guys. All right, so we're talking about like what is motion. Ranveer is there. Hello, Ranveer. How are you guys doing? How is your day so far? How is your Friday going on? Are you having a good day today? Wonderful. If not, then we'll make your day good, okay? By making you understand a very nice concept in physics, which is called motion. All right, so we were talking like what is motion, and many people said motion is change in position of an object in respect to the reference point. Okay, so that is the very basic definition of motion that we all came up with. Okay, and then we were discussing what is visible motion, what is non-visible motion, recliner, oscillatory, circulatory. Yes, Niti, yes, you're absolutely right. So these are all different kind of a type of motions that we will study either in this class or in our higher standards. All right, so visible motion, whatever we can see, like as the name suggests, whatever motion we can see is called visible motion. For example, you're sitting in a bus. When I was a kid, when we were going in a buses, and it seems like everything else outside is moving, right? So that is kind of visible motion. You can see things moving. You can see a rickshaw wala bhaiya, you can see bus, you can see car and motorcycle and motorbike and everybody walking. So that is kind of visible motion. Okay, and the outside people, let's say who is not sitting in the bus, they're just standing by the road, they will also say the bus is moving, right? So this is the very basic easy example of motion. What is motion? Anything which is moving. Yes, Sarika, what is your doubt? Tell me. What is invisible motion? Okay, so for example, you see leaves move. Why do the leaves move? Okay, you have clothes drying on the cables and they also move. Why? And dust particles are moving. There is formation of day and night and formation of seasons. So all these things are happening. All these processes or phenomena, they are happening. But why? Because the motion, the reason behind the movement of leaves and the dust particles. Yes, Sarita, what I'm trying to say here is visible motion is simple, clear, right? Whatever you can see moving, like fan is moving or people are playing or morning walk, everybody is walking. Okay, so you must be seeing like before this corona thing, everybody was just going out for a walk, the morning walks, evening walks, right? That is kind of like visible motion. You can see like people are moving. But how about not seeing them? For example, the day and night is there. Okay, then you have seasons are there, right? So what is the reason behind formation of day and night? What is the reason behind formation of the seasons? So these are examples of invisible motion, which means you cannot see something is moving, which is causing the seasons to change, which is causing day and night, but you are not able to see. This is because of motion of earth, okay, around its axis, or motion of earth around the sun. All right, but we cannot see that motion, but we can see the effect of that motion. So this type is called absolutely, Niti, absolutely. Okay, so these type of motions are called invisible motion. Okay, so is it clear to you, Sarita? You are not very much sure about the concept. Is it clear to you now? So now we have types of motion. Okay, so motion, first of all, we have already calculated like what motion is. Then we said there are two major basic type of very easy to define motion, visible motion and invisible motion. Now we are going to talk about what is simple motion, what is complex motion or circular motion, what is rotational motion, vibrational motion, uncontrolled motion. Okay, so these are going to be our topic of discussion now. Okay, so first of all, a very basic diagram that I want all of you to pay focus to. All right, so let's say and yes, as you guys were defining motion, you were saying as in reference to the surroundings and all those things. Yeah, that is random motion is already, I mean, always there when there is no particular change in the rate of velocity or speed. It is just happening. That is called random motion. Oscillatory motion is also there. Yeah, that is also an example of motion, Sarita. So motion along a straight line, that is the very easy basic term that we'll be using, that will be understanding here, right? So what is, first of all, motion, and then we'll discuss along a straight line. Okay, so that means something, some object, it started from point O. So what is point O? Point of origin. Okay, and then it started covering this distance 0 to 5 kilometers, and then reached to the point 25 kilometers, and then 35 kilometers, which is point B, and then point A 60 kilometers, right? So now this is because that object is moving in reference to this point of origin. Okay, so that means that object has covered some distance in reference to this point. That point is like point of origin, we call it. All right, but let's now understand. Oh, you're already on class. Are you my student? Are you my student, Niti? So now here we will discuss what is the difference between distance and what is the difference, I mean, what is the what is the difference between distance and displacement. Okay, so these are two most confusing terms in physics when you don't pay attention to distance and displacement. Okay, and you move on to acceleration and velocity and all those points, but you have to start with distance and displacement because these are the basic terminology. All right, so let's first understand what is distance and displacement. Okay, so let's say I will explain it in another diagram, but let's say to start with, an object, or let's say a car, starts moving from point O. All right, it reaches point C, then B, then A. Okay, and then it comes back to B. All right, so what is the distance covered by the car and what is the displacement covered by the car? Can anybody tell me in the comment section? Please do that if you know the answer. So when the object or the car starts moving from point O, distance, the actual length of the path covered by a moving body. All right, for example, in this case, when I said a car starts moving from O to C, C to B, B to A, and then returning on B. All right, so what is the distance? The distance 25 plus this 10 and plus these 25, I mean 60 plus 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, so 85 kilometers is the distance covered by the car. That is the total distance. Doesn't matter at how many points it stopped, okay, how many points it covered. Yes, Sarita, I'm just saying, like, what is the distance difference between, distance and displacement. So from this diagram, I'm just asking you a question. Let's say an object starts, let's say car starts from point O, it reaches C, B, A, and back on B. So what will be the distance and what will be the displacement? So distance, as I said, will be the total distance covered from O to C, C to B, B to A to B. Okay, the total, whatever it has covered, whatever distance it has moved is called distance. And then what is displacement? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at how many places it is stopping or going, what route it is taking. Whatever is the shortest distance between, yes, Niti, you're absolutely right. Okay, whatever is the shortest distance between the point of origin and the final position is called displacement. It doesn't matter if it goes to C and then B and then A and then B. It does not consider that. The only thing displacement considers is from O to B. Doesn't matter O to C, C to B, B to A and then to B. Okay, so this is the difference between what is distance and what is displacement. Here you go. So, as I said, the important terminology would be what is the origin or the reference point from where the object starts moving is called origin or the reference point, as in this diagram. The origin is O. Point O is the origin for the car. And what is displacement? We have already discussed the smallest distance taken by the car from the original position to the final position is called displacement. And distance, whatever distance it has covered all throughout the way, it started from O and coming back to B in the example that we have taken. Absolutely, Niti, absolutely. So here are the points for distance and for displacement that I have compiled for you. Let's say distance, the total, these slides are important, like if you want to just remember the definitions. So these are going to be, reference point is, Sarita, the point of origin. As we said, O, as let's say you start from your house and you go to your school, okay, that house is the origin point, that house is the reference point, okay. Yes, Niti, so we'll discuss about these points in the upcoming slides. So we have distance, the total distance measured from the initial to the final position of an object is known as the displacement. Initial to final. Does not matter the shortest or the longest, we are not considering that. Okay. It is a scalar quantity because we are not considering the direction of motion. Okay. We are just considering the magnitude. So do you know the difference between scalar and vector quantities? Scalar quantity, it has only magnitude but no direction. It has only a value but no magnitude. No direction. Okay. And if an object is in motion, distance will always have a positive value. Guys, if something is moving, let's understand this. This is like many of you get confused, like distance is always a positive number. Okay. Distance can never be negative. Distance can never be zero if the object is moving. How can distance be zero? Let's say you started from your house and you are going to your school, right? So it will always be a positive number. And let's say you come back to your house again. So that means you covered the distance from your house to the school to the house. All right. So the distance is house, school, house. That is distance. Okay. So it will always be a positive number, positive value, as long as the object is not stationary, as long as the object is moving. All right. Next is displacement. So displacement is what? It is the shortest distance measured from the initial to the final position. Okay. So let's say you started from your house, you reached school, then from school you went farther away, let's say to the market, and then you came back to school, and then you came back to your house. What is your displacement? 0. Why? Because you started from your house, you started from your home, and you came back to your home. Okay, so there is no really any displacement. Okay, so displacement can be 0, displacement can be negative. Let's say the reference point is further down. All right, so the shortest distance measured from the initial to the final position of an object is known as displacement. It is a vector quantity because here we are also considering the direction of motion, not just the magnitude. All right, and displacement can be positive, negative, 0 depending upon the reference point. Here you go. So this is the example that I've taken for you. So this blue line is the path taken. Let's say you started from point O. Okay, let's say you wanted to go to, let's say E is the end point, O is the origin point. Okay, so you started from O, you moved on to A, you had some burgers, and then you moved on to B, you had some ice cream. Then to C, you picked your friend 1. Then to D, you picked your friend number 2. And then to E, which is the park where you all played and had fun. Okay, now let's understand what is the distance and what is the displacement. So the whole path you covered, starting from your home, going to the burger and the ice cream and 1 friend and 2 friend and the park, this whole thing is distance, guys. Whatever distance you have covered, whatever distance you have moved is distance. But the actual distance between your home and your park, okay, that is displacement. Does not matter whether you cover the whole world and come back to the park. Displacement is always the smallest distance between the origin and the end point. That is it. Okay, I hope that is I made clear to you. Now what is rate of motion? As we have covered the basic points like distance and reference point and displacement. Now let us understand what is rate of motion, guys. What is rate of motion? Yes, Sarita, displacement is the shortest distance covered by moving object. All right. So what is the rate of motion? The rate of motion is the distance traveled by an object in a given period of time. Okay, rate of motion is what? Whatever the distance. Now, wherever you see this word rate of something, that means time is involved. Okay, in a given period of time, you have to say that. So whatever distance is traveled by an object, okay, in a given period of time is the rate of motion. Okay, so what is rate of motion? Because let's say you start from your home and your brother also starts from your home. So maybe you are walking fast. All right, so your rate of motion is different. Let's say your brother is younger to you and he cannot walk very fast. So his rate of motion is slow because he's moving slow. The distance covered by you in a given period of time is more. So that means your rate of motion is more. Okay. And the distance covered by your brother, because he's small and he cannot walk fast, he has covered only a smaller distance in a given period of time. Okay. So everything or everybody, they have all different rates of motion. Some items, some objects, they move fast. Some objects, they move slow. Sometimes different objects take different times to reach somewhere. Sometimes different objects, they take same time to reach somewhere. Okay, so that is what we call it, rate of motion. In a given time, how much distance is covered by a given object. All right, that is rate of motion. Let's understand this. So let's say there are two objects. They're like, for example, two people walking. Okay, so they start at 9:30 a.m. in the morning and they end at 11 a.m. Okay, let's say person A is moving 10 meters in initial 15 minutes, another 10 minutes in next 15 minutes, another 10 meters. This is like a distance traveled by an object or a person A. Here is the distance traveled by an object B or a person B. 9:30 to 9:45, okay, in 15 minutes, covered 12 meter, 19 meter. Every interval of 15 minutes, this person is covering different distance. 7 meter, 4 meter, 12 meters, 2 meters only, 4 meters and 3 meters. But this person is so consistent. For every 15 minutes, he or she is covering 10 meter, 10 meter, 10 meter, 10 meters. Okay, so this type of motion is called uniform motion. When you cover equal distance in equal intervals of time, okay, this is uniform motion. And here, when you cover unequal distance in a given period of time, that is called non-uniform motion. Simple, guys. So here we will define it. When the object covers equal distance in equal intervals of time, it is said to be in a uniform motion. Okay, same motion, uniform, it doesn't change. Okay, for example, an object covers a distance of 50 kilometers in 1 hour, and every 10 kilometer, he covers, let's say, in 60 minutes. So every 10 minutes, how much he is moving, it is uniform. All right. But let's say, what is non-uniform then? Non-uniform is when the object covers unequal distance over the period of time. It is said to be, here there is a small mistake, some typo, non-uniform motion I wanted to say. All right. For example, let's say you are sitting in a car and you are going on a highway from, let's say, from Chandigarh to Delhi you want to go. Some areas are going to be like there is no obstacle and you are just moving. But some areas are crowded. There your speed gets slowed down. Okay, so this kind of motion is called non-uniform. Sarita, when you cover equal distance over the period of time, equal intervals of time, that is called uniform motion. And when you cover different distance over the period of time, okay, let's say you're running. Sometimes distance is in meters, SI unit for time is in seconds, so we do it meter per second. Okay, so it needs to be constant. It can be it needs not to be constant because speed hai. It can be it will change over the period of time. Sarita, I've given you the examples. Let's say you are moving in a car and you put the car on cruise, which means it will cover the equal distance in equal interval of time. And non-uniform motion is, let's say you are running. Okay, sometimes you will be tired, you will get slow, and let's say sometimes you are moving really fast, you are energetic, you just had a lemon water, okay, that gives you energy. So this is how this works. So its speed is just a distance covered in a given period of time. All right. What is speed? What is speed? Total distance traveled divided by the total time taken. That is the average. The way we calculate average for everything else, that will apply here as well. What is average speed? The total distance covered by total time taken. That is the average speed of a car or whatever object you want to calculate the average speed for. Okay. So far, any questions? I guess I clarified your points regarding motion and visible and non-visible motion, uniform and non-uniform motion, speed and distance and displacement. All right. So any questions so far? Just drop them in the comment section. All right. And if you guys have not signed up for the monthly subscription or yearly subscription, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, guys, because I'm gonna cover your physics this month with all the numerical problems, with all the revision points and everything. And August month is going to be my super chemistry month. I know many people, they don't like chemistry that much. They find it very difficult. So what I've done is I've divided it into chemistry month and physics month. So this month we are doing extensive physics. Next month we'll be doing extensive chemistry. Okay, guys, so you can do that. So average speed, as I just said, is the total distance traveled by total time taken, is called the average speed of a car and or any object, not just a car. All right. For example, a car travels a distance of 100 kilometers in 2 hours. What would be the average speed? Total distance divided by total time. So 50 kilometers per hour is the Sarita, I take classes every day 7:30 to 8:30 in the evening. Okay, and if you want to subscribe, you can use my code. Okay, here is my code, and you can get extra 10%, bache. If you want to get extra 10%, if you want to learn from me in a super simple, easy way, so here is the code that you can use. And guys, I will also share my Telegram ID with you in a minute, so that you guys can get updates on like whatever I will be teaching for that particular week or that particular day. All right, let me share this with you real quick. Just hold on for a second. Give me a second, bacha. So here you go. I'm not just a second. Here you go. So I'm sharing with you guys my Telegram ID. Oh, Sarthak. Okay. It says Sarita Kumari. So maybe you are using somebody else's account. Okay. Never mind. You can join this chat and we can have discussions over there on Telegram. So this concept is over. Average speed. So this is how we calculate. This is the formula for speed. Okay, average speed is total distance traveled by an object and total time taken. So we denote it with small v is equal to s divided by t. So s is not speed, guys. Don't ever get confused, because I've seen people getting confused. S is because it is s, it should be. Yes, please write down your doubt and I'll clarify it. All right, so we have v is equal to s divided by t. So v is the speed, s is the distance, guys. S is not speed, though it sounds like it should represent speed, but it is not actually. Okay, it is the distance, and t is the time taken to cover that distance. So it is denoted by small t. So we have v is speed, s is distance, t is time taken, and this is the formula that you can use if you want to calculate average speed for something. All right, there you go. Speed with direction. Next concept. So far, speed is something related to distance. Always remember, guys, always doubt. Yes, whatever your doubt is will happen. Please leave your doubt in the comment section and I'll definitely answer it for you. Okay, go ahead and leave your doubt in the comment section. I'm reading your comments as well, side by side. It is not just I'm just teaching you this concept. I'm reading your comments as well. All right, so we have a speed with direction. So far we studied just speed, just the magnitude, just the distance covered. Okay, so far what we covered, the distance covered by an object in given period of time is called speed. But what if that object is moving in a particular direction? Then we will not call it speed, we will call it velocity. Okay, the speed of a moving object in a particular direction is called velocity. Okay, guys, remember it, velocity. It is also same thing, distance covered in a given time, but this distance is actually displacement in a given direction. Okay, so it could be uniform and variable, can be changed. Okay, so now as speed was just by changing the distance covered in a given period of time. But here velocity is what? Velocity is if the object changes its direction as well. If the object is just moving and moving and moving, doesn't matter in which direction it's moving, whatever the distance covered by it divided by the total time taken, we say it is speed. But let's say an object is moving in this direction, then this direction, then this direction. This is called velocity. Whatever the displacement, total displacement is there. So is it, can you see me, guys? Is it not working? Okay, I thought it stopped. I'm sorry, because there was no movement I could see. Anyways, so it can be, so velocity is not just by the change in the speed. It is also changed by the changing direction of motion. All right. Hello, Sumit Shukla. Hi, hello. I'm good. I'm just awesome. How are you? All right. So what is the average velocity then? If the object is moving at a variable speed, then the average velocity is calculated as the average speed if there is a variable speed. Okay, so this is how we calculate it. If the hello guys, hello, hi, who have just joined, welcome to my session. My name is Dr. Pooja. I teach you guys science, physics, chemistry, biology on Unacademy's platform. Okay, and I have already shared that Evolve with Dr. Pooja is my channel ID, and as it says there, I have shared my Telegram ID with you. I have shared my code with you. If you want to learn with me, if you want to learn from me, then you can always go back to Unacademy, sign up, and I'll be your science teacher. Okay, not only physics, not only chemistry, not only biology, all three I will teach you. Okay, so if the velocity is changing at a uniform rate, then the average velocity is the arithmetic mean of initial velocity and final velocity. Now let's say an object is moving with a uniform rate. The way I showed you, every 10 minutes it is covering 15 meters. Okay, so that is called a uniform rate. Okay, so let's say the velocity is changing at a uniform rate. Okay, then the average is calculated as this initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. Okay, so that will be the average velocity. So what if the velocity, you know, is variable? Okay, what if the rate of, the velocity is changing? It is not in the uniform motion, let's put it that way. Okay, so during uniform motion along a straight line, velocity remains constant because it is a uniform motion. But what if the motion is not uniform? What if the motion is changing? In this case, the rate of change of velocity in the uniform, the rate of change of velocity is 0, chapter close. But what if the uniform, it is not moving in a uniform motion? Let's say it's changing its speed with time. Then velocity varies with time. Okay, so the rate of change of velocity for a non-uniform motion is not 0. It has some value. How do we calculate that? Here comes another interesting topic, which we call acceleration. Absolutely right. So what all we have discussed so far in this chapter, we have covered what is motion, what is visible and invisible motion, what is distance, what is displacement, what is scalar quantities, what is vector quantities. Okay, apart from that, we have covered what is speed and what is velocity. But here comes your next important point. What is acceleration, guys? Have you ever heard of this term? What is acceleration? Have you ever heard of this term? So acceleration is, as I said, an object is moving, all right, but it is not moving with a uniform speed or uniform velocity. Let's say its velocity is always changing over the period of time. Okay, so how do we define it? Let's first do that. It's a measure of the change in the velocity of an object per unit time over the period of time. Let's say a car is moving on a straight line. Okay, sometimes its speed is more, sometimes its speed is slow. Let's say velocity. Okay, sometimes it's moving fast, sometimes it's moving slow. So that means its velocity is changing every time. Okay, so this is what we call acceleration, guys. Acceleration, change in velocity over the period of time. Okay, the change in velocity for an object over the period of time is called acceleration, and this is how we define it. Okay, so speed, you know, speed was what? Distance covered by an object over a period of time. S divided by T was the simplest formula for distance or for velocity we did. Okay, but what is acceleration? What would be the formula? Now see, here we are talking about change in, yes, absolutely, Aijaz. So I have a quiz at the end as well. So I would want you guys to stay back to be part of the quiz. Okay, then we'll cover interesting points in the quiz. Okay, so if the velocity of an object changes, let's say the initial, so always remember, guys, so these V's and U's and T's and A's and S, people find it very confusing. Okay, when it comes to the calculations, let's say when it comes to the calculating or doing the numerical problems. All right, so for that you will have to understand small v, okay, is the final velocity, because in acceleration we are talking about changing in velocity. So that means changing in velocity, what do you mean by that? Like it has some velocity value 1 when it started, over the period of time it changed to a velocity point number 2. Okay, and this is what we call initial velocity and final velocity. So remember, v is the final velocity of an object, u is the initial velocity of the same object, and t is the time taken for this change to happen. Okay, over the period of time this happened, so we call it acceleration. Then, and it is, as you said it, I just absolutely right, a is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. So it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be 0. How come? Here you go. Hello Madan Singh Negi, how are you? So acceleration is a positive in that, let's say something, actually what is acceleration? The change in velocity. Like how fast the object is moving. Let's say it started slow and then it started moving fast. Okay, or let's say if it was moving fast and then it started moving slow. Okay, so depending upon the final velocity and the initial velocity over the period of time, okay, the whole thing will change. Okay, the whole value for a will be different. If the acceleration is positive, if it's in the direction of the motion, let's say it speeds up. Okay, if it's in the direction of the motion and it is then it will have a positive value. If it's opposite to the direction of the motion, of course it is decreasing, right? Then it will have a negative value. And what are the SI units? SI units will calculate for the units. If you want to remember the units, you guys have to remember the formulas, because we derive units from the formulas. That is what I tell in my class. Like, you just don't remember the units. Okay, you don't just memorize the units. What you have to do, you have to memorize the formula for some like equation for some phenomena that is happening. Now acceleration, we know, first of all understand the concept, then create your own definition, then create your own formulas, and then create your own units. You just don't have to memorize anything. You just have to understand the concept, guys. Okay, so acceleration, we have final velocity minus initial velocity divided by the time taken. So velocity units is what? Doesn't matter if it is, we are subtracting these two numbers. So velocity unit is meter per second. That is what we know. That was our speed, that was our velocity, the distance covered over a given period of time. Okay, so that is called speed or velocity. And there is another t over here. There is another time factor over here, which is another second we get. Okay, so for that we have meter per second per second. Okay, so that will be meter per second square. Okay, so that is the unit for acceleration. All right, so are you excited now what all we have covered so far? We have covered, yes, tell me, motion. We have covered visible and non-visible motion. Sarthak, okay. We have covered motion, we have covered visible and non-visible motion, we have covered velocity and speed, distance and displacement, what is scalar quantity, what is vector quantity. Okay, so all these items we have covered in this chapter, and we ended this topic by talking a little bit about acceleration, guys. Okay, so now do you have any questions so far that we have covered so far? Do you have any questions from that? If not, then we can move forward with our quiz. Okay, and before even we move forward with our quiz part, a quick reminder or a quick revision or a quick let's say update. I don't know whether you know my name or not. I don't know, you just joined in. My name is Dr. Pooja. I teach you guys science, physics, chemistry and biology on Unacademy's platform. Guys, I'm a former scientist. I was a scientist in the United States, and now I teach you guys science in a super easy and interesting way on Unacademy's platform. So what you have to do is, if you want to learn science my way, easy way, super easy way, okay, then you have to go and sign up on Unacademy's platform. All right, and you can do that by going to their website, and you can do that by going to their app, whatever way you want to use. All right, so here we will talk quickly about, and I'm gonna share my code one more time with you. Here is my code. If you want to, if you have made up your mind, okay, if you have made up your mind to go ahead and sign up with Unacademy's platform, so here is my code. Go ahead and use it and get extra 10% discount. And I have also shared with you guys my this thing, the link, the Telegram link, where we can, or if you have any queries, questions, you can always, you know, ask me. Okay, so let's move ahead with a quick quiz that we have here. All right, so let's get started. Here you go. So an object travels 20 meters in 10 seconds and 40 meters in another 25 seconds. So what is the average speed? So you guys will have to calculate average speed. How do you calculate average speed? Do you guys even remember the formula? Never mind. If you don't remember the formula, just look at the sentence. An object travels 20 meters in 10 seconds and 40 meters in 25 seconds. What is the average speed? How do we do it? Distance covered divided by time taken. So what is the total distance covered by the object? 20 meters plus 40 meters, that will be 60 meters divided by total time, guys. 25 seconds plus 10 seconds, which will be 35 seconds. And I guess answer C is the correct answer. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Odometer. What does odometer do? Odometer measures a distance, displacement, speed, or velocity. Tell me, what does it do? What does an odometer, anybody, what does an odometer do? Tell me. Guys, I guess speed, I guess displacement, or what is it? What is it? Come on. Odometer always measures the distance. All right. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely. Okay. So are you ready for the next question, my team? My beautiful team. Let's go to the next question, guys. Unit of speed. Do you know? Yes. Absolutely right. Everything here. Jagmeet Singh, Sarita, Aijaz. So do you know our answer for this one? Unit of speed. Can you please tell me what are the units for speed? I think it's kilometers per second, or maybe all of the above. What do you think? The SI unit of speed. I should say that. Yes. Absolutely. Everything here. I don't know what your name is. Can you please tell me your name as well? It's meter per second. Correct. That is right. That is absolutely right. So, what is the units of velocity? Units of velocity, anybody? What are the units of velocity? SI units for velocity. It's the same thing. It does not matter whether we are doing speed or velocity. The units are okay with that. The units are going to be the same, meters per second only. Okay, because the only difference between speed and velocity is the direction. Okay, and velocity is what? We have talked about speed and we have talked about velocity. Do you guys understand what is velocity in reality? What is velocity? Vedant and Jagmeet and Aijaz, Sarita, can you please answer me this question? Velocity is what? Speed or displacement in a given direction, or distance or speed in a given direction? What would you say? The best answer, the best fit. I know we can fit two answers in this for this question, but the best fit is, it is the displacement in a, displacement in a particular direction. Which statement is true? Displacement can be 0, distance can be negative. Can distance be ever negative for a moving object? Do you think so? So we have these 2 points, like which statement is true? Which statement is true? Sarita, do you think distance can ever be negative for the moving object? I don't think so. If this object is moving, it will definitely cover some distance. Okay, it is not both. Both are not true. It is displacement can be 0. Let's say some object started from point A, it reached point B and came back to point A. That means yes, Vedant, absolutely right. You're correct. And with that, I end this session today. And guys, thank you so much for being part of such a wonderful session. And tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., I'll be covering another exciting topic for you. And the topic of my discussion is going to be Newton's 3 laws. Okay, Newton's laws of motion we will cover tomorrow. And I know you guys are interested in knowing more about chemistry, and this is like physics that we are doing. So you can cover the laws of motion or 3 laws of Newton with me tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'll be covering Newton. Okay, so let's all cover Newton tomorrow. Also inform your friends. And my name is Dr. Pooja. Don't forget my name. I teach you guys physics, chemistry, and biology on Unacademy's platform. Okay, go ahead and use my code if you want to study or read or get yourself educated in all these 3 subjects. And I will also tell you how to become a scientist. Okay, that's all for today. You have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much and take care. Bye-bye.